Hello traders, and welcome to this new Bitcoin technical and order flow analysis video. It's 3:42 a.m. I'm pretty tired. My voice is also very tired because I keep working on a swing course. I added like 6 videos. It's going to be released in about a week. It's going to be the biggest like educational pack we will be releasing because people can get ultimate clarity on how to do swing trades with 80% win rate strategies, which is very, very high in the trading. So yeah, that's what I'm working on, and I decided to do the update for you because a lot of things happened, and I think you can just learn from these things. We will go over current price action. That's going to be done in the second portion of the video. What we can expect from Bitcoin next. Also, how I was trading Wednesday, and we'll be starting the video with the how I was managing the swing long. The trade started over the weekend, but even if you are not trading during the weekend, because most of the weekends I don't even trade, I'm usually outside in the nature. Monday we've got the beautiful drop and we were buying that drop as well, so we can go over that as well. I was adding to position and also building new long. This was on the back of the de-escalation in the Middle East, so this was one of the easiest longs you could have. Also short on oil as a bonus trade to that. So we will cover that, and in the final segment of the video we can have a look on Bitcoin, what to expect next from here, what to expect especially into the summer from seasonality. We will have a look at a few seasonal things because Bitcoin tends to range during summer, so you need to be aware of that, and then you can plan your further actions from up here. So let's start. First thing I want to mention, weeks back I was giving our traders this box, and I told them we will be very likely contained in this box since May until the end of the summer. And so far we are holding in this box. Even 98k drop, we held pretty decently. I think there is very good reason because I was entering with very large perpetual demand here. We've had like 150 million buy order, so I could define my risk really well and hide stop loss behind the order. So I was like first in the move, but then again you got the chance. But here is another post, because order books are not just you don't just blindly watch the walls. They often telegraph you like future very strong support or resistance areas where you have real demand on spot market. So in this template on 16th of June, I was seeing hundreds of Bitcoins added. It was like very, very wide cluster at 97k. So again, from this perspective, I was expecting summer range will be defined by the 113k supply cluster, very strong sell side here protecting all-time highs, and by the demand cluster 97k. Now when I go into the template on TRDR, you will see exactly what very likely happened there. Let's go here. You can see the cluster is here. One thing you should be noting for yourself when you see and where are the candles? I see how the prices was going. Refresh. Oh, let's go to spot heat map. Here we go. 50-minute time frame. It's loading a bit. It's highlighting actually that big demand which I wanted to talk about, so very good. So we've seen very large buyers here, and what often happens, these people who do have very large order to be filled, they cancel the order, but it doesn't mean the order is not there. These people can just hide the order and they will be waiting for market. They will be waiting for the market buy once price got closer to them. So I think what happened here, this demand started buying heavily because it got very close to their order. Just $800 is nothing on Bitcoin, and they just front round their all like demand area, and that was also fueling our bounce to the upside. And then we have another thing, how I was entering during the weekend. So let's have a look on now on top perpetual orders, and you will very clearly see over here we had over 150 million on the demand node with 98k. So I told our traders when we were dropping, watch out for 98k. It can give you easy scalp, potentially day trade, and that's what we've got. So I got I got long at total loss with such help. You can even see those people in here, and it's gonna highlight you. These are the the whales were trying to defend here, because this is only showing you the biggest orders in the order books. Yeah, so very strong defense, and since that moment we go up. Even if you miss the weekend, it's perfectly all right, because we've got the drop here. Now, you know, I was describing this drop very deeply in our Discord, but what I want to say, it was mainly, first we've got a bit of the drop because market was feeling there will be further escalation in the Middle East, but then the peace was confirmed, and since that moment Bitcoin started pumping heavily. So this was fundamentals trade to the upside, and you've got like very strong reaction, and there was very strong there was a lot of fuel for this trade. I'll be showing you that in another template. Let's go here. So first of all, we've got really decent demand, especially perpetuals were defending the lows, not as much. We've had 3 times more longs than shorts on Coinbase, and decent demand on spot markets, twice more longs than shorts in the limit orders on the buy side. So very decent walls, yeah, especially these like two combined, because you always want to see the double bands, you want to see these more day trade bands and then medium time frame bands below the price. This is all explained in TRDR courses we do. And perpetuals were also on the decent demand. So you've got a lot of limit orders to be filled, which I was just showing you in the order books. Plus, the most important thing for you, and this is actually why the setup was there was such a heavy bounce on the setup. The blue line here is open interest. You can see the blue line open interest is extremely increasing to the upside. And in Exocharts on other tools, we can see the massive shorts were coming into these. Like, I don't know what they were expecting. Okay, it's nice you are shorting 100k breakdown. You short maybe for 90k, but again, you already dropped like 10k from the all-time highs and you rotated the range. So this is bad reward ratio trade anyway. Massive sell side is coming over almost 2.8 billion aggregated delta. So you know what's gonna happen very likely when you are positioning yourself into longs from here. You know, once you go beyond this point, which is called EPS, initial point of selling, this is like impulse, when you know massive shorts are loaded there. Once you go beyond, it's over, and these people will be they will be destroyed. This is one of the aspects how you can think about market, because imagine it's you shorting here. Where would you be placing stop loss? Let me delete these lines. Classical technical analysis is teaching you will be placing that beyond next like logical high, structural high, which is changing market structure. So you will be placing stop loss behind initial point of selling, behind this high, or behind this structural high. Do you see where these people got wrecked? Look at that massive open interest decrease, huge upside from the aggregated delta with very similar size into the lows, because this market is trading with very similar money in the system. You know, passive market participants are easily filling their positions on market moving entities, which is more retail and other entities. So we've got move from 2.8 negative billion delta, and now here is the capitulation for them. Here was move of 2.3. So many people who shorted in that during the weekend got destroyed here. This is why when you are trading such setup, let me turn on trades. Here, trades. So I'm planning swing long here. I was also adding here, which means it increased my size, actually position here from the zone. I was already having take profit 1 on the bounce, so it was risk-free position for me. But if you are taking new long here on the pullback, this was by the way very technical backtest we planned. It was a point of control of the session during the weekend. Now we are getting push, and after you destroyed, because a lot of liquidations were also happening here, you can literally, I was closing trade which was taken here because I'm combining day trading together with swing trading. Swing trading is actually still having exposure, swing trade, even though it's small now. But trade which was taken here was closed here because you fulfilled mission. You could easily do this range, and then go for deeper pullback. But instead we are going for uptrend because some conditions changed. So yeah, you need to pay yourself when you reach your targets. And yeah, you can combine swing trading and day trading together, because you fulfill mission of the main fuel was taken out. But again, you can look at it from a fundamentals perspective. One thing you need to really remember, when Bitcoin started crashing down, it was here, from here, and this is start of the Israel-Iranian escalation. So you see, we go down, yeah, we trend down and down, because global markets were also panicking, oil was also going up. And now as we have peace, it means markets are returning back to their baseline. So if you started falling here, is not a surprise. Bitcoin is very close to here. It's possible Bitcoin would be actually doing something like this without Iranian like war. Yeah, it would be much more contained, less volume, and just chilling. We didn't have to have this pullback at all, because Bitcoin is very sensitive to wars. So this trade played out excellent, and now we can go over Wednesday trading, because I was posting a lot of very informational posts what is happening here. Some people could be getting stopped out on shorts, some people are riding longs here, but again, very specific situation we need to go over, and you can learn from this for the future. So I mark my sale of Wednesday when I'm coming to the computer. You can see even as we are pushing to the upside, we've had lots of new walls leading price to the upside. That's usually bullish sign, because passive market participants are helping market moving orders, which are pushing market, they are helping market to reach the targets. Let's go down. I'm also telling our traders my final target is still waiting here, but I will be reactionary if I see the reversal, like a stronger one. So we also see the upside was again a big short squeeze from these people who were shorting into the lows. But we also see the open interest starts to increase substantially since we are at this range. So it's going to be vulnerable even in the next, what is today? Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, it can be vulnerable to liquidity crabs, because longs and shorts are building in this. So yeah, we'll be monitoring that. This is one of the main reasons why we are actually going up, and one of the main reasons we stayed in the long. Even in this range, the main reason why you're continuously going up is bullish CVD. Look at that, you are continuously doing higher highs and higher lows, while spot CVD, the blue line, is trending down. Yeah, and we see this many weeks in the past. And later on, we get message the seller is buying Bitcoin on spot market. So this is very likely seller buying your cheap Bitcoin from his perspective, because he's aiming for 200k. And other entities, we have other 10 companies who also need Bitcoin. For example, Texas recently approved they will have Bitcoin on balance sheet. Yesterday we have good news in the US. You can use crypto as a collateral for your houses. So very like a lot of good news. And Bitcoin is in the most demand in the world. Most altcoins are still going in down, and Bitcoin dominance is going up. So they just want your cheap Bitcoin, because they know it's gonna cost 150k and then 200k in 2026 maybe at the end. So of course it's good entry for them. So again, bullish CVD is stabilizing market. I'm also saying very clear guidance. So these are my priorities, actually. These were my priorities and still are. I was looking to book another decent swing long take profit, the best possible area. I want to go with the uptrend, so I will look to buy the dip on the areas where a reward ratio makes sense for me, because we have a freshly born uptrend. You don't want to fight it, you want to go with it. And lastly, last priority is to look for short, but for me to look for short is going to be medium time frame EPA in the technical resistance above 108k. I already identified 108k is going to be decent resistance, and that's where we stopped actually in Wednesday, because we have so many sell side. I will be showing you that actual situation in a moment. Yes, another short could be reactive in case we get some news event change. Third option is slow rollover, which will be harder to trade due to summer trading in low volume. That's actually what we've got all Wednesday. Slow peaks, local range, because the market has no volume to break walls. Yeah, look at that. But you could be still making money here. I told our traders up here there is like very high chance we get 1.5% move. We got 1.3%, so you still made money. Fees are 0.06 if you shorted at highs, and you are earning over 1%. That's pretty cool. Not every day you pull like 5, 10, 20%. Those days are super rare. Actually, what makes your account grow are these grindy days where you make 1-2% and at least you don't end up in minus. 2% is still great. If you pull 1% a day, in few years you can have 1 million account. Yeah, so that's the power of statistic. And you already had at least two chances to get, like I pulled here 2% at TRDR Trader, so very decent, because this is another look at the highs I was shorting. We will see on the third eye, because now it can be swing failure pattern into the walls. So yeah, we will go over that in a second. I'm also preparing myself where I want to engage on the long side today. So first of all, the idea was to do swing failure pattern from this low, from this grind into the single prints, fill them and then bounce. It would also mean you are doing open interest decrease and you would be stopping out lot of people who are piling in with leverage. If you would not do that and you continued breakdown, you would very likely feel all the inefficiency from the volume profile, and then we've got this high volume node here, which is gonna be backtesting this high here and like overall market structure zone. So 102k 500, again very good area, but again market was just not interested to get there. Sometimes you don't get entry. We can see what is actually very important. It's still same. We are coming into the area where we have hundreds of bitcoins on the sell side on all exchanges in the world on spot, so it's not going to be easy for Bitcoin to push. That's why we are slowing down here. You need many times more volumes to continue higher. Yes, you can continue higher, but it's going to be harder. Nowhere near like push like here. With empty, almost nobody was providing sell clusters and slowing down market here. It was super easy. So imagine it like that. The easy move is done. You should be taking some nice profits on your longs if you build them from weekend or from Monday. But now it can be slow grind up. It can be more likely we go sideways or even pull back. So that's how conditions are changing in the world. And of course, Bitcoin is gonna be, pushing with the equities, because calm in the world, no war, except Russia-Ukraine war, which world got used to sadly. But yeah, it's going to just push equities higher. But we are getting into the deadlines for the tariffs, so we will see if they cause some extra volatility in the market. And you can see the beauty, right? Anytime you are looking at longs at the slows, what we keep in mind is we will be rotating this 6 weeks range. We know statistically Bitcoin tends to range during summer and prior to the summer. So what you will be doing, you will be trading range rotations, and as you always need to be aware of the main pool. This is the main pool, and we were hitting here. One of the reasons we are going sideways now, like most of the Asia session and good portion of the New York session, is people are taking profit here. People who were longing here, reclaim into the range, now distributing their hard-earned money. So the pause in the market is not a surprise for us. You can see how 108k were like how this defense, how we really started shorting here. Many sell walls were popping up. It was showing you passive market participants want to either take profit or build new short, so we started shorting with them. It was really good sign. We also know there's even more heavier sell side beyond 108k, and it's waiting at 109k on the spot market now, yeah, because you need to combine perpetuals and spot markets. I'm also aware if we continue pushing beyond 100k where we are right now, I will be watching this high for swing failure pattern at 109k. So you see the sell walls are actually lurking at the prior high before the all-time high, and then they can cause swing failure patterns. So we will be watching that in the future. Then beyond this high, you have 3-day POC, VAH, and then new all-time high. So sorry, this is, yeah, you have actually more levels, but more locally watch this. If you go beyond that level, you are always prepared. You see how sell side is getting ready in this region as well, but then the walls very positioned, so I need to return back to yeah, you see now this is actually a bit bearish because they don't wait for Bitcoin to come to 109 500s, but they moved big sell side orders lower, so they want to get fill, and it can actually pressure the market more to the downside. One thing I can clearly notice is, and you can notice it too because this is free indicator, Coinbase premium trend, each time we are trading 0.05 and above, it signals us, this is only way how you can see if ETF's demand in US is very strong or not. And it usually leads to big upside moves, like here. This was more of arrangement, but still led to upside. Then ETF stalled, but the Binance was buying heavily. And same thing again. You will see positive there on ETFs on with such premium is very likely. Yeah? So this is a very useful indicator to know if there is demand in the US or not. If you start coming closer to the baseline or even negative, then the demand from ETFs is not helping, no longer helping market. The demand from ETF is very strong. It's actually creating, I think, 50% now of the market moving. That's why also New York session is super important for Bitcoin, right? Let's see if I find more useful posts. We've got this pullback from the highs, 100k we shorted again, and equities were helping. I was also now, I took take profit 4, I had multiple take profit on the way to the upside, take profit 3, take profit 4 here. And now I'm leaving just 10% on the swing, so not much on the swing side, yeah, because I'm not expecting we will get to all-time highs. I expect more of a range. I can be wrong on this, of course, but again, that was my approach to this. I'm paying myself, especially during summer when these moves are not that easy. It can be very slow for the rest of the summer unless macro changes. Look here how they keep adding new sell walls. They also added new sell walls here, so they are defending. From this point, for me, it was very likely we will go just sideways. You can now trade the range of the sideways. This is also statistical post. Last time we had such a sell pressure on perpetuals and spot, we did at least 1.5% pullback or larger pullback. But the initial reaction was 1.5. We've got 1.35%. So again, statistical edge was here to expect at least 1% move to the downside. Let's see. 1713, I think I will start. Was explaining a bit of the order books. We don't need to go over that. This is, by the way, also textbook. That's how textbook uptrend looks like. Sometimes it happens on daily time frame when these sessions are providing each session high volume node and previous POC is stabilizing market to the upside. Yeah. Let's look at that beauty. London session, point of control holding, then you've got New York session, close session retested, boom, close session backtest holding, now Asia session backtest holding, now even on the pullback, London session held, got front run. So that's how market is trending here, is building value up and up. Yeah, good. Those were all posts from me, and this is the final post. Yes. Now we can have a look on Bitcoin, what we can expect to right now. So we've got 2 day trades here, 2% were made, but we will see what we do if we return right now at the highs. We are now building 1-2 highs which can be run for the swing failure pattern into the walls, or you can get break out. You can clearly notice the sell side is like accumulating here very heavily. So there is good potential we might find resistance in this once we start filling those walls and people will be getting absorbed. Good thing you want to see in such occasion is to trap new longs into the order books. Look at that, by the way, more walls. So plenty of, I would say this is also profit taking, yeah, because you move 10% in few days and we hit the, key range here. Medium time frame range was hit. So again, people are taking lots of profits and they don't want to spend any money on market orders and send market down. So, but is still market looking like pretty strong even when we have so many walls. So again, I'm monitoring this, but I'll be watching like this. This is very big cluster for me where we might top out and then get large pullback. If you actually start breaking below 110k, then you ignore these walls, then it's going to be pretty bullish. And we need to have a look on the spot market. If it's still unchanged, yes, pretty much unchanged, and the largest sell side is still residing at 109k, where we have that high which can be done for swing failure pattern, and that even more so. Yeah, it's like not easy for Bitcoin to just push into all-time highs. It needs to chew, it needs to break so many walls, it needs to fill them, and there is a high risk we might get absorption. So we will be monitoring that. We can have a look on TRDR now. I want to show you a few templates. So one of the reasons market is pretty choppy, because you see the aggregated thresholds are ranging in between 1 billion plus aggregated delta until 1 negative delta. So it's not like you don't see the big thresholds hit, people getting trapped into highs or into the lows and then creating volume and fuel for the big move. So yeah, it's very, very choppy, very, very slow. This is typical for the summer, because now we removed the Middle East premium. Yeah. Let's have a look. Look at that. So heavy pressure continues to be there. We continue to feel the main pressure is coming from the spot market, while perpetual markets, I need to turn on 0 to 5%. Yes, they are also negative. So everything is negative. Here is going to be very interesting what happens, because when you have such a selling pressure, you need a lot of volume to breach, and it often give you range or pullback. So we will be watching that. But yeah, Bitcoin needs hundreds of millions on the buy side to continue higher. So it needs a lot of willing buyers to buy into the range highs. Look at those thresholds. Yeah, these are massive thresholds. Actually, they provided us big tops in the past. So we will see if they win this battle. Again, this high, the swing value pattern of the high, is the best candidate to do that. That's where we have a lot of these orders. Liquidations. So we knew we've had very big liquidations during the weekend. Of course, 55 million. And now open interest keeps increasing here, but we don't see any liquidation. So that's also warning you. The maximum pain point was not done, not for the longs and not for the shorts. So the pain can be still hiding away from this region. We want to see large liquidations. Once we get them, they can signal pause of the move or reversal, because you wrecked people. And open interest keeps increasing. Yeah, we can see that here. 5 minutes. Nobody is getting hurt yet. They just waiting. So we wait for that. These thresholds are still holding. No change there. We were all going over that. Binance spot. Yeah, the sell side still a bit higher in this cluster. 109k. This one is better. Yeah, this one we need for spot. So yeah, big cluster on the spot and still creating big imbalance. So sellers are very, very heavy here. This can be exhaustive. Market push here, and then we can get reversal. So we will watch that. See, buyers are much smaller compared to sellers now, but they are still interested. You can see already here the demand is building in between 105k. They pretty much these buy walls, they want to capture a pullback, which is gonna be like if you stopped everybody in the uptrend, they will be catching that and you potentially get bounce. That's what they are trying. And below also demand is building, so it's not easy for you to do move like this. Even if you move lower later on, then you will have this demand and you can do this easy. Let's go to other templates. We can have a look on funding rate. Oh, okay, funding rate still negative, but many people shorting very likely. It's not that negative, but yeah, this is also like people are definitely like leverage is trying to short here, and they are losing the battle. We did limited shorts in this range, but people who shorted earlier, they created these imbalances. Open interest RSI, which is non-lagging form of aggregation and oscillator, also heading back into the overbought territory. This is only way how I will be using RSI on open interest and then on order book depth. This is very specific for TRDR, and we are pushing for our time frame really good. Here you can see major lows were always captured when we were in the green zone, and now we are heading into the red area where we found top. So yeah, potentially nothing is certain in the market, but potentially we can find we can find resistance above 109k. Yeah, even swing value pattern out of these highs, I'm prepared for it. I'll be ready, no problem. Let's now go to top perpetual orders, so we see where are they lurking. So it's again highlighting for you better again. Yeah, 109k defense, and then another big defense cluster at 110k. So two big clusters you really need to watch locally. And again, this is like you get so close, market is not even getting into them and it's still ranging. The biggest, one of the first battles you need to win in trading is to know when the trend potentially is ending, when this, because you need to book profit efficiently. And then once market settles into range, you can trade the range and just be chilling because you have protection of these people. By the way, 80%, Bitcoin is ranging 80% of time. I just like 2 days ago made video of this for our traders, which is we are going over why is Bitcoin ranging 80% of time. By the way, this is more than some asset classes. Yeah, it needs a lot of distribution. Sir Bitcoin. What does it mean? It means only 20% of time you are trending on medium time frames or high time frames. Like big upside moves take 3 to 14 days, but you can range for weeks or months. So yeah, you need to be ready for that, and it means you need to be very efficient trading the range when it occurs, because you can make most money there, because Bitcoin loves to range. Simple, yeah? You can even see that here. Yes, we are doing these big pumps, but we are on medium time frame, we are still ranging, okay? And on local time frame, even more ranging. You've got this big influx of volumes, and then again, you range. So, okay, that's very clear. Let's have a look on spot heat map. Yeah, spot again, very heavy sell side around 110k, and also at 109k, but 110k will be very interesting, these two big walls, and buyers are lurking primarily, yeah, many smaller walls, but demand is also defending 101, 100k. In the future, whatever reason we get for the pullback, if we come here, we can see very decent bounce from this area. Maybe you take out this low and then do that. One more thing, let's have a look what are whales doing. It's gonna now highlight only the biggest orders in the marketplace, like here. Like this. Sometimes they can do some cheeky things. Look how they are filling the buy walls. Yeah, all these people who fill those orders, they are now in profit. They have time, they have wider pockets, they don't over leverage, they need 1-2x leverage. They will not be stopped out on some traders do 20x leverage and they are stopped out before you even get into the direction. Yeah, so right now whales are trying to really defend here these areas. You'll see if they succeed. Okay, so that's from TRDR. I don't want to go over anything else pretty much in TRDR. Also don't want to do super long video. Final thing we can have a look is seasonality on Bitcoin, and that's how I'll be ending the video. So again, I expect more ranging. What we can summarize, I showed you areas where I look for longs. I cannot long here. This already fulfilled so many targets and move got very overextended. So I'm not looking for longs here. I'm more looking for shorts in this area. And I'm also looking for longs when I get a deeper pullback into this low or into the 102 500s. So you get decent area. And from seasonality perspective, we can go into this template and have a look. We can go not to Nasdaq, but Bitcoin. There will be few tools you can use for swing trading yourself. To our time frame. So that was really good from Bitcoin, because we know 60% of time Bitcoin loves to spend in the yellow area if it's not non-ranging, same as previous year. You can see this was our 9-month range, so we were mainly in the standard deviation 1 band. Right now Bitcoin still is looking pretty strong from this. It was not even retesting the yearly view up here. Look at that flip of the it was beautiful flip. It's pretty much like if you are trading in the standard deviation, like in the pink band, if you start do this acceptance here, then you pretty much prepare area for new all-time high. So that's bullish here while you trade above. you want to see, if you want to see some profit on your short, if you get new short, you want to definitely get into the yellow zone. Yeah, it's gonna outstretch, moves to the downside again. Look how the boundary held us. Future resistance just from these boundaries, waiting at 123k. Let's just, for that, seasonality on the month, we don't need that. Monday candles, we don't need that. By the way, Monday was exemplary. Let me check. Yeah, because you know how Monday is very important. Look at that. We have statistics. Just want to show you, because we have a lot of tips in the group. But Monday, there is 60% chance we will put pivot, which means you put Monday high or Monday low, and then market also tends to trend out of Monday rest of the week. And that was really textbook. And another thing, which is now in educational slides over here, Monday range. Yeah, Monday range is over here. You oftentimes take liquidity from the weekends, and then you establish new trend during Monday. So this was pretty textbook here. Monday low was set, and now we are continuing uptrend. Really cool. Now let's have a look on quarters. We can go to daily time frame. Please don't underestimate seasonality. Actually, a lot of portfolio managers in traditional markets are watching seasonality. So that's why seasonality can be really good guidance, because it becomes self-fulfilling prophecy. Market believes it works, and market like whole is like one living organism, and if it believes in something, it's very likely can happen. So in quarter threes, you see what is very likely happening for Bitcoin. By the way, I pay attention to past 3 years since bear market, and especially what happened since ETFs, because ETFs is when institutional capital arrived over here. So I'm watching what was happening post, like this is new era for Bitcoin. So post ETF, and institutions can trade Bitcoin, giving good guidance. But I'm also watching what happened in the current 2022 run, when we started to see new capital and FTX was out of the market, because FTX were heavily manipulating market. So now Bitcoin is trading more freely. You can notice one thing during quarter three. So July, August, and September, we tend to range since 2022. Again, we were ranging. We also were, you can see it clearly here. When we go to months, we can see on July, on median, July tends to be positive month. So that's pretty cool. We might actually do new all-time high, possible, if we are able to breach this massive sell side, yeah, and if we are able to take out 110k sell walls on spot. Possible, but let's return back. Where is it? Many tables. So July tends to be positive during most of the cycles, even during bear market. That's very impressive. 2023 July was just a bit negative and small positive. It was overall chop. Look at the August. August tends to be very negative even in bull markets. So pretty much if you get some nice longs, targets hit during July, or build some new longs, you should also build in the, you should look in July for some nice shorts from range highs or from new all-time high. Also, everything I say is just educational and entertainment. So August tends to be choppy. So you see pretty much if you do gains in July, you give them up during August. September also tends to be indecision, but you know what matters, and this is absolutely what you should be paying attention to. Look at that this quarter as well. Let's make this smaller. We were gaining during July, and then you lost it during August, yeah, and chop. The most important thing you should be doing during summer is to look for opportunities to increase your stake in Bitcoin or crypto, and quarter 4 is the strongest performing quarter for Bitcoin since its history. Yeah, look at that. Quarter 4, boom. Quarter 4, boom. Quarter 4, sideways. That was bear market lows, exception. Quarter 4, massive upside. Quarter 4, huge upside post-Trump. You can check this coin last statistics is better here. Here is the quarterly pattern of Bitcoin. You can see the quarter 4 is on average 85% plus. Of course, this is 2020-13 is skewing this, but in average it's just pretty crazy gains. Again, this quarter tends to be not impressive. So again, it can be very choppy. Altcoins can bleed. Bitcoin dominance is still rising. That's not good sign for altcoins at all. People understand Bitcoin is only true value holder and is sucking everything like black hole. All the capital wants hardest asset in the world, not Solana, which is printing 15% per year. So yeah, and FTX was big holder. Yeah, they are still dumping on the market. So yeah, let's have a look here. So we've got the quarters, so we know we need to be ready in potential more ranging during summer. And this is also seasonality. So you see seasonality is based on we need to go to other time frame. We need to go to not other time frame, but we need to go to Binance, to Bitstamp. Yes, to Bitstamp. Look back period, 15 years. Not changing that much. In the you can see it's just mainly range this quarter, but you know the main upside is still waiting for us in the last quarter. Yeah, the biggest gains. Look, by the way, this is small tip for you. Again, seasonality, you can have just one simple line. It's called TZV, and you will find it in our group. And then it's like not precise exactly to the day, but it's giving general bias what happened to the Bitcoin past 14 years. And you see how even without Trump or whatever happened in the world, we've got the pullback based on the seasonality from 108k. So that was also on your side. Now we started pushing, and Bitcoin actually front run. This push was front run. We should be still ranging here, yeah, but we already front run. The main reason for front run is very simple. This was tariff induced sell-off, and once tariff got settled and we've got the pivot and negotiations, then we started pushing. So yeah, that was the main reason why Bitcoin was front running. Sometimes the fundamentals can override the seasonality. Of course, nothing is 100% in trading. So yeah, definitely watch the seasonality. You can see some are very likely choppy, and yeah, opportunities will be waiting. I definitely will be buying some nice dips during summer if I get them. So I hope this video was useful for you. I gave you planning to do the rest of the week. Again, we'll be looking for opportunities here, and just wait for the decent dip for longs as well. It doesn't make sense to just long when so many people are already long here. If you like the video, just give it a like, subscribe, and if you want to learn with us, my voice already gone after recording 6 videos today. If you want to join us and just educate and trade with us. You will definitely not regret it. Thanks for watching, traders, and see you in the group. Bye.